Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Chris and Amanda Show. Hello, Amanda Sharp. How are you?
Good morning, Chris Baglio. I'm so good. Like coming out of a good weekend. I feel like a little slow this morning. I think we can mutually agree
Yeah,
it's a slower morning, hence why it's a little late going live. But hey, it's what we do.
but hey, we are here. We're here. We're committed, and we come here live to record the show every single Monday at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching us live right now, welcome, 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 each and every one of you to hanging out with us today on another Monday morning. And to everybody else out there who's watching the replay or listening to the audio version of this, we invite you if you can make it. I know for some of you, the time zone doesn't always add up, but we'd love to welcome you all to hang out with us on Monday mornings at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is when we do the live version of the show. But we appreciate all of you who either watch the replays of this on YouTube or anywhere else that you watch this, or you're listening to the audio version wherever you get your podcast. And that being said, we would love for you to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're watching or listening to us. So that way you get notified every single time a new episode of the show is released or uploaded. We appreciate you. One of the other things we would love to ask is we also have this like nifty number now. Like, we've got this number here that we set up for people who would like to leave us voicemail. So if you want to leave us feedback or I don't know, just say, hey, that was a great episode, except I totally disliked that Chris said that he didn't like Uptown Girl. Well, that's fine. Your voice can be heard. Leave us a voicemail, and we're happy to play your comments on our next show. You can call plus 1 973 506 8009. That's plus 1 973 506 8009. And feel free to leave us a voicemail message there. And we're happy to play it, regardless of whatever it is. Could be happy, could be angry, could be just,
Yeah, because
whatever.
we'll beep out any beepers. And just this is your disclosure. This is your warning. It will be played online, though. So don't leave us a message if you don't want to hear your voice on the Chris and Amanda Show.
That is very, very correct, Amanda. And also, if you love the show and you want to support the show, we would love if you went over to our Buy Me a Coffee page over at buymeacoffee.com/TCAS. Those links are in the show notes and the video description. So if you feel like Amanda and I do a pretty good job entertaining you each and every week, well, we've got a way for you to, help us out a little bit or, spread the love a little. So, pick from any level you feel comfortable with. But, some of them do come with perks too. So there's just buy us a coffee. Just say, hey guys, thanks for making me laugh or thanks for making me angry because you didn't like the song or you didn't give it the appropriate rating that I desired. That's okay. That's okay. But we also have these cool membership levels too. And you get different perks. So check them out. They're all up there on Buy Me a Coffee. Plus, one last thing. Amanda, did you know that you could actually commission a whole episode of the Chris and Amanda Show? Did you know that?
I knew this because I had to go through this. So, yes, Chris Baglio, I did know that.
Yes.
But our listeners may have not known that.
That is true. So if you'd like to commission an entire episode of the Chris and Amanda Show, you can do that. You have the power to commission a whole episode of the show in which you get to pick all the songs we have to react or review to. Whatever those songs may be, you have complete control over that, and we will do that. So just head over to, once again, our Buy Me a Coffee. You can commission a full show. You get up to 6 songs, whatever songs you want. They
Whatever
can be anything you want.
your fancy.
Send them to us. Yep, and we'll do it. We will do it. So, all right, that being said, Amanda Sharp, let's get into the show because we've got 3 new songs for each other this week that I know you're dying to talk to me about.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, Chris, your list to me this week, a little different.
I know that is on purpose. I think I found your new song of the summer, by the way.
It
on,
did
on that.
not go unnoticed, sir. It did not, because I started the playlist and I said, what? And so for those listening for the first time, how this show works is Chris sends me 3 songs of his choosing. I send Chris 3 songs of my choosing, and they come from different backgrounds typically. And we encourage each other to listen to some different genres than maybe we normally would. And then we rate it on a sliding scale of 1 to 5 records, 1 being, ugh, 5 being it's a legacy. It should be here forever, eternity, for as long as the world lives, it should be played. So with that being said, Chris's 3 songs to me this week were Country Girl by Belmont, 2, Never Meant by American Football, and 3, Loser by Beck.
Yes. Which I will say Rachel Vaglio had a little hand in helping me out with this list this week. So
This makes sense, Chris Baglio. Thank
yeah.
you, Rachel, for
Yeah.
giving my ears a little bit of a break.
Well, once again, it's like sometimes it's a commute of like, let's see, what can I do to mix it up this week and give her a little. I'm gonna throw her a curveball, throw her some other songs that maybe she hasn't heard that, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how you handle these 3 tunes. So this go around, you shared with me Taylor Swift's Invisible String. We've got Rod Stewart doing Ooh La La, which I sent the man I know, and I'm like, no, it's the face. And she goes, no, but I like this version. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I got a lot to say about that. And then, of course, the king making an appearance here, Mr. Elvis Presley himself with Suspicious Minds.
Suspicious Minds. Yes.
That is the 3 songs you have shared with me this week. And I've got some good notes. I found a lot of good juicy notes on a lot of these songs. Actually, this was a good week for finding some juicy notes on the interwebs to talk about some of these songs. So,
and I got some juicy feelings. So
I'm sure you do.
Chris always like with his good juicy notes, Amanda with her feelings. Well, I'm just gonna dive into your number 1 pick for me this week.
Let's
Chris
go.
Baglio.
Your new favorite song of the summer.
By far, it was my favorite on the list. So thank you for letting it be number 1 so our listeners can hear it before they may tune off because life happens. But Country Girl by Belmont. Again, such a different list from last week and week prior. It was really a fun list to listen to. I would not have heard this song otherwise. So you're going to have to tell me a little bit about Belmont because I'm very interested in them. Of course, the minute I see the title, I'm like, Country Girl. I'm already falling in love with it because Amanda's a small town country girl. Love me some country. Love me some country. The lyrics, she's my country girl just living in the center of a hoedown world. I just love those lyrics.
I knew you were gonna love this song. I'm like, this song is completely made for you, Amanda Sharp. It is a bona fide. It should be a bona fide hit. It is on Spotify, but not anywhere else yet.
Yet until this show, and then it will be everywhere, literally, because we stream everywhere.
We do. We absolutely do.
So there's no reason this song isn't everywhere after today's episode. I would really love to hear this song as a country song.
It is a country song.
No, I know it's a country song, but like by a country artist.
Like a country punk song kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because the two the difference
Mhm.
in the way it's approached would be really fun. And I don't know if I would like it as much as a country song.
So these guys are actually in your favorite genre of music, Amanda. They're an easycore band.
Easycore. Easy like Sunday morning, even though it's
easy like Sunday morning. They are considered an easycore band, pop punk. And
I feel that.
If you listen to any of the other songs, especially stuff off this record, you'd be like, I can't even believe this is the same band. It's like this song is so funny because it comes like right in the middle of the record, and you're like, wait, what?
It's like, it must be similar to our playlist.
Yeah, you're like, we're gonna write this song and we are getting this on the radio. We are tired of eating cat food. We want to get on the radio. We're writing a song. We want a hit. That's it. We're done.
It's called Country Girl.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So their other music is more traditional then?
I don't know if
In
you'd
the
say it's
easy chorus?
traditional, but it's more in the easy chord style.
Lame.
But they don't do a lot of like they don't have too many of the Cookie Monster like vocal part of the easy core, but they do have some breakdowns. So there it's like bunch of guys that like really know how to play and they kind of like play a lot of notes in a lot of their songs. I don't know how to describe you. You'd have to check it out a little bit more and see if you dig the other like songs on this record. But they are from your neck of the woods, though, Amanda.
Ooh.
They are a Chicago-based Illinois band, so I know
Ooh, a
one
Midwest.
more state over.
Yeah.
So they are some Midwest boys.
Interesting. Let's just talk about the map of the United States of America. I don't really understand how Michigan is Midwest.
Well,
It's so funny because
you're past Pennsylvania, so that's
but there's east, so like there should be like a middle ground. Like we're not necessarily Midwest. We should be Mid-East. Like, you
mm,
know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, I guess it's just part of that whole belt. They just consider
There's Yeah, it's such a wide Mid-East. So it just I've always thought that. So
anything left of Pennsylvania, anything west of
Like,
PA is like the Midwest, and then the West Coast.
yeah, absolutely. There's East Coast, there's a West Coast, and then there's the middles. The
And the
middle.
South. Well, then there's the South, I guess. So there's the whole South.
We're the middle child.
Right.
Chris is like the baby. The West is the oldest sibling, and we're the
Right.
middle child. That's always forgotten about.
Yes.
But back to the show. Sorry, everyone.
But
This is
back
what
to
we
the
do.
show.
So I really like this song. I struggled because I really liked it, but I don't think it's quite a 5 record song. Right?
That's
It's not like
fair.
legendary-ish.
Right. But it's really fun to listen to.
It's really fun to listen to. So I feel like it's not quite a 4, but it's not a 5. So I'm gonna give it like a 4.3-ish.
Okay. With that, it will probably become. I'm telling you right now. So because this is on our playlist, and I know you
Mhm.
listen to our playlist a
Yes,
lot,
I do.
this is going to be the song that you're going to be like. This is going to go on one of your playlists or somewhere that you're going to be listening to. You're going to be belting this
Yes.
out as you're driving to Pressed Rose or taking Owen to school. It is going to be. She's my country girl.
It's so good. And I already was like, I need to do a TikTok or a reel to this. How am I going to incorporate that?
You should absolutely do that.
So be on the lookout, fans. We're going to do a country girl reel
There it is. It's on its way. Country
on
girl
its
reel.
way. It's
So
been spoken into the universe.
yeah, I mean it's kind of funny. This song is like it's like I said, it's was like, wow, where did this come from? So they just basically were like, we're just gonna write a really catchy poppy song that's like not really in the style of anything else we do, but who cares? And so you've got Country Girl, and it's I love this song.
It's
My
like
my my friend Ken is the one who turned me on to it actually,
love
and
it.
he was like, dude, you have to hear this song. And I'm like, really? He goes, it's like corny as hell, but you were gonna fall in love with this song. And I'm like, oh my god, you're right, it's corny as hell, but it is great. It is a lot of fun. This song.
It's as if Belmont said, "Oh, let's take a break from our regular scheduled programming and write a song for Amanda Sharp herself."
That's exactly it. They probably sat around and said, you know what? There's this woman. Her name is
Yeah.
Amanda Sharp. She's a co-host on the Chris and Amanda show,
Yes.
and she likes easy core sometimes. So we're gonna write a song that incorporates easy core and country together, and we're calling it Country Girl to Amanda Sharp. That's
And
exactly
there.
how it happened.
Belmont, you can confirm this, but if you don't, we're just going to assume that it's correct.
we're just gonna go with that.
We're just
We're
going
gonna
to
go
go
with
with
that.
it because it
Yeah.
sounds good. So 4.3 records.
All right. Well, I think that's very acceptable. That is very acceptable score for Belmont and Country Girls. So, and for those of you out there, please go listen to this song because I think
Okay.
that and the video is great too. Actually, the video on YouTube is a lot of fun to watch as well. So, go watch it on YouTube or listen to it on Spotify and buy their music. Support local bands, man.
Yes.
They
Yes.
need the help. Indie bands, man. Support independent bands. So. All right. So speaking of independent music artist, Taylor Swift with Invisible Strings. So I will say that I think that Taylor Swift is so ridiculously talented.
Yes.
And I think, there's things that she's been very polarizing and on opposite sides of the spectrum. So,
Yeah.
take what you want with all that. But from the just the music side of things, she's a really good musician. She's got a great voice, and she definitely knows how to put together like music that everybody just loves,
Mhm.
and I think that has something to say about the type of artist she is and the type of songwriter that she is and the people she works with and collaborates with. So, not only is she talented, but she's got a great like eye or ear, or just
Mhm.
knows how to like surround herself with the right kinds of people to help her like create like really good music. So
Create enough drama to write songs.
exactly. And if you go out with Taylor Swift, you are 100% getting a song written about you. Probably angry or upset, but hey, listen,
Hey,
that's
it's a
like
song.
it's a song and it'd be immortal because it's Taylor Swift, and
Right.
everybody will sing it and you'll be known forever as the person that Taylor Swift wrote that song about. That being
Mhm.
said, Invisible String is a song. So I don't know, like I hear Taylor Swift songs and I think at this point, like I know she's not an artist I like go and actively
Mhm.
listen to. However, I've heard Taylor Swift for years and years and years
Of
because my
course.
girls have grown up and I listen, so Taylor Swift's always been on and around. And so I know like the early big hits, like the big monster hits that she's had.
Mhm.
This record, I don't know. I'm not really familiar with a lot of the songs on this record. Folklore. So this came out in 2020, and the song once again is called "The Invisible String." So hadn't heard this song before, and listened to a few times. So I like I said, I got some good juicy notes from a lot of these songs. So I went over to our good old standby at songfacts.com, and they had a lot of good notes on every song that we talk about today. So with this, they were saying, according to Songfacts, according to Taylor Swift, this ode to love started off with a imagery of a single thread that, for better or worse, ties you to your fate. That picture in her mind led to a song in which she reflects the serendipities that bring two soulmates together. I'm like, that sounds so poetic. It's like,
She is
uh,
poetic.
the invisible string references an ancient Chinese folk myth about a red thread of fate tying two people together. The man and the woman are destined to meet regardless of time, place, and or circumstances. So, did listen to the song a few times, and I think it's got all the hallmarks of a Taylor Swift tune. I'm gonna say though that I was left a little like uninspired after hearing it, just only because I was kind of expecting. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting like the classic like pop song. I
Mhm.
will say I like that it's like this kind of a nice, quieter,
Mhm.
simple song, and I like that.
Folkier.
Right, and I like that. I really like that. Not very produced sounding and all that. And I think it let her like voice. Her voice is so good, so it's like it's
Mhm.
amazing. But I liked it. It came through a little bit more on this. But at the end of the day, like the song for me, it wasn't grabbing me enough. So I think I got to live with the song a little bit more. I
Sure.
will say this though, that listening to the song is like, oh, I want to check out this record now. So I
Sure.
think that
Sure.
there should be points awarded for that, because I feel like it was enough to say, hey, you should check out this record, Chris, because maybe this is something that you might like more than some of the other stuff that
Mhm.
Taylor Swift has done. It doesn't sound as poppy. I don't know. I'm just gonna make an
Mhm.
assumption that maybe it's not such a pop record for her. I don't know.
Mhm.
Did you listen to this record? Do you know this
Yeah,
record well?
it's toned way down compared to
Mhm.
some of her, like you said, her power mega
Yeah.
hits. I think she's really, finding an interesting lane to be on,
Right.
and I think she's owning it in her older years now that she's maturing and she's not
Right.
that, like, baby anymore, and so it's really fun to kind of have seen. I'm older than her, but I've kinda growing up with her music.
Mhm.
And it's just really fun to see her mature as I've matured, and I really like this song. It hits better during different times
Mm.
of, like, your life, right? But
Yeah.
I enjoy the sound of it right now.
Well, and I was listening. Shout out to Billy Thorpe.
Which let's give him a huge shout out because he
Yes.
did bless us with some cups of coffee last week, and we are very, very grateful for that. Thank you, Billy.
Absolutely. Make sure you listen to his podcast. I think it's Podcast for Money, and he's got his daily live show called Create Daily on the Bullhorn app.
So follow him on Instagram. He's got some really funny reels going on.
He does. He has some great reels going on.
He has like a whole dialogue with himself, and it's a lot of fun. So if you want to get some entertainment, go find Billy Thorpe on, I believe that's your handle. Let us know if it's not on IG. And I think it's the same on TikTok. But he's great. Thank you, Billy.
He is great. Yes, thank you for your support. So back to the show. So I will say this. So I listened to the song several times, and I was actually outside listening to it because I was like, I'm gonna listen to these songs outside. It was a beautiful spring day.
This is an outside song.
Finally got a New Jersey spring day that was like acceptable enough to be outside, and I listened to all your songs outside. So I at the end of the day, I definitely do not hate this song at all. I mean, I think it's a good song. It just wasn't grabbing me, so I think I had to spend a little more time with it.
Sure.
But it may be a nice primer because I think it's going to get me to listen to the whole record. So all that being said, I would give this song a 3.3. I think it's a 3.3 on my record rating scale. Just because it's, I don't, like I said, not a bad song, just wasn't exactly grabbing me, but I think I just need more time with it.
Totally fair. And let's all agree that typically Taylor Swift is very much more women-centered music. So I think that's a very fair rating coming from a man.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, Taylor, if you don't like it, what you need to do is just write a song about the Chris and Amanda show.
There's that too. We are accepting submissions for Chris and Amanda theme songs, by the way. We're making that announcement right now.
Reaching for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
We reach for the stars.
Yes. If you want
literally the stars
to write a Chris and Amanda theme song, which will be played for eternity, please, we're taking submissions.
I gotta get on that. I really gotta get on that.
You got, but I mean, I feel like there's so many talented people that listen to this show. So
there's a lot of creatives that we
like. Can you imagine if we had our own easy core version of the Chris and Amanda show theme? Like Country Girl, like easy core country mashup.
I just, what I need to do is I need to sit for a weekend when it's nice, warm, and sunny, and bright, and cheerful. And I'm going to take a binder and I'm going to go into my yard and I'm going to anchor down and I'm going to write us a jingle.
Okay. A Chris and Amanda show jingle.
Easy core jingle.
An easy core jingle. Okay.
And then you can come up with some music for it, some guitarism.
Okay, some guitarism. You mean music?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Your number 2 song to me this week was Never Meant by American Football. All right. My biggest beef with this. There should be no beef with this, right? Like, there's no reason I should have beef with Never Meant by American Football.
You should have no beef with this song.
But Amanda has beef, and this is my beef.
And here we go.
Here we are. The name should be switched. I feel like the band should be Never Meant, and the name of the song should be American Football. Is that too much to ask or think? Because it makes sense, especially about this song.
But they're called American Football.
It seems so wrong. I mean, and clearly they're doing well and they have songs. We don't. So it's working for them.
Right.
But if I was their manager, I'd have been like, come here. I feel like Never Meant is a really good name of a band. And then Never Meant could also be the name of the song.
Never Meant by Never Meant.
Welcome to the stage, Never Meant, singing Never Meant. I mean, is that not done? What? I mean, normally it's probably the album, right? Not necessarily the name of the song. But with that being said, now that I got that out of my system, I feel like I like the tune of the song better than the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it was good musically. I just think the lyrics of the song were interesting.
You like the jingly jangly. The jingly jangly wheelie doo 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 doo.
I do indeed. I really like the lyrics because you can't miss what you forget.
That is true.
It's so true. And it made me realize, it started making me go, what have I forgotten? What have I forgotten that I've repressed so deep that now I'm not missing what I forgot? So this song single-handedly made me remember certain things.
Well, then the song did its job because it never meant.
But I was supposed to forget it, so I didn't think about it because it wasn't meant. And then it made me realize it was a sad song. And then back to like forgetting what was never supposed to be meant. I have to tell a story. It made me think of this because I just think it's so silly. I was showing the house one day to a client, and the neighbor across the street came out and was talking to us as myself and the client were trying to leave. And so I'm thinking the whole time, this guy looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to me, "You look really familiar." And I was like, I kind of was thinking the same thing. Totally an ex-boyfriend. Totally forgot about him.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Like, sorry about that. Like, I honestly had forgotten. So I had pushed it
my gosh.
so far down that I never remembered until that showing.
Until that exact showing.
Until that show. And my client was like, "Wow, Amanda, how do you forget a boyfriend?" Because I shut it down. I shut it way down.
You shut it down.
Shut it down. And then I can't remember because, like, you don't remember what you forget.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
That kind of wraps up my thoughts on Never Meant by American Football. So you're welcome.
So what is your ratings?
Being said, 3 records.
Okay. All right. So they're another Illinois band from Urbana. Is that how you say it?
From where?
Urbana, Urbana, Illinois.
Urbana.
Or Urbana.
So 2 Illinois bands.
Yes. And they are sort of, this song in this band in particular was sort of like the pinnacle of Midwest emo with the combination of like everything. So you had Tim Kinsella and Mike Kinsella from the classic Captain Jazz, another Midwest pioneer emo band, and sort of the originators of that like jingly jangly like sound that defined the Midwest emo sound. So that whole like just that sound, like in that song Never Meant encapsulates all that is like that Midwest indie emo sound. Like that is the song. Like Never Meant is the song that like everybody refers to as like what this top 10 greatest emo songs of all time. Never Meant by American Football is always on that list.
Very interesting. So I am a Midwest emo girl, is what I'm
country
thinking.
Girl, then. Midwest country emo girl.
Country emo girl. Calm core.
You're calm
all
core.
The things.
You're all the things.
I'm finding my place in this music world.
You are. You're starting to get a defined thing happening.
The worlds can blend. I'm
identity. You're getting a defined musical identity.
So yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So good pick. Good pick though. I think I'm gonna like it more as I listen to it. To be fair.
Yeah, you should dive into the record. I mean, it's it may, some of it may be a little weird, but it's just it's very emotional. Obviously, you can tell from the lyrics, and it's just all introspective stuff. And
yeah,
they released so they did this record, disappeared for a lot of years. They're all involved in so many other projects, and they released a little EP actually maybe a year ago, and it actually one of the songs, one's a cover and the other one's a new song. So the new song features Haley Williams from Paramore on vocals with him, and it's another like really like you listen to the lyrics, you're like, whoa, this is like really like working on stuff on this song. And then they did like a version of the classic Mazzy Star song Fade Into You, like but their like take on it, and it's like a 7.5 minute like version. The music video plays out like an actual like short film. You got to watch the video. It's like
fun.
I don't know if you feel very good about yourself afterwards, but you're like kind of gripped to see like what's going to happen at the end of this story. So
okay,
I know it's a interesting character study. Is all I'm going to say. But I would say check it out.
I will.
I would definitely check that out. So all right. So anyway. American Football, Never Meant.
American Football, Never
All
Meant.
right, so your second song to me is Rod Stewart's version of Ooh La La.
I was very specific about that.
Yeah, I was very quick to point out to him, and I'm like, no, it's the faces. She's like, no, but I like this version. This is the version of the song I like. I'm like, Okay, we're gonna talk about this.
This version makes me happy. The other version, yeah.
I'm so the opposite on this. So the opposite on this one. So let's just talk about this Rod Stewart version, okay? Because
Mhm.
so for anybody that doesn't know, Rod Stewart was, um, I guess, for lack of the lead singer in The Faces, which was a classic, like 70s band that had actually Ronnie Wood, who was in the Stones, Rolling Stones. You've had you had Ronnie Lane, who also sang lead vocals as well in the band. So they did a lot of trade offs. Very much a blues based. I mean, if you go back and listen to that Faces stuff, oh, Rod Stewart, just that voice, that was a great band for all those guys to be in, and they were short lived though. So "Ooh La La" was a song that came off of their last record together. Rod Stewart went on to do his solo version of the song, which was released on his 1998 solo album, When We Were the New Boys, which was a tribute. He did the song as a tribute to the recently deceased Ronnie Lane at the time, who was his band member in The Faces. Um, you know, it's it's one of these songs where I love, absolutely positively love the song. I absolutely prefer the Faces version much more so than his, but it's an interesting to hear his version of it. And actually, when I go into a little bit of the history about the song to understand like how this song actually came to be is a little fascinating. So when he did his version in 1998, it did really well. It reached number 2 in the UK and number 44 in the United States, and he also made a video for it as well, which you can go see. Mitsubishi wound up using it in a commercial as well, and the song itself, the Faces version was featured in Rushmore in the final scene of that. So remember, we've talked about Rushmore, the Rushmore soundtrack, and Wes Anderson has a great ability of finding like really good tunes, and just does a lot of like stuff like he'll pull from The Faces and just old classic Cat Stevens a lot and use that. So this song, when it was written, was originally sang. So the version that's on the record, the version that we hear from The Faces, actually has Ronnie Wood on lead vocals on this song, not Rod Stewart and not Ronnie Lane. The reason for that is when they wrote this and they recorded it, Rod Stewart didn't think the song was up to his standards, and but because of that, he did a version. Ronnie Lane did a version, and neither one of them liked how it was sounding. So their producer, Glenn John, suggested let Ron Wood try it. Like, just let him try it, and he did it. And ultimately, that was the version that was used on the record, their last studio album. And then basically, after that was done and "Ooh La La" was released, Ronnie Lane left the band, and then basically the whole group disbanded after the 1974 tour. So the rest is history on that, right? So that version, the original version, is actually Ronnie Wood singing the lead vocals on "Ooh La La." So I find it interesting though that Rod Stewart didn't think the song was up to his standards
But
when,
then,
but then, so does that mean that the version that we hear Rod Stewart sing, is this the song that he always heard in his head? Because I feel like even though the lyrics are there and all that, you could hear the distinct difference in the production. And I think Rod Stewart adds a lot of instrumentation. It seems like he adds some kind of like Irish, like very twist
Mhm.
to it. And,
It's more of a
it,
jig.
yeah, a little jig kind of a thing.
Yeah,
And listen, I love Rod Stewart's voice. I think he's an amazing vocalist. I just feel like that after so many years of hearing the Faces
fair.
version and really loving the simplicity of that song, and then getting to like the Rod Stewart version, which I feel like is a little overproduced. I feel sometimes about overproduced.
Do.
Um, I would say, if you're gonna say, Chris, which version, it's definitely the Faces version of this. But I did really enjoy listening, because I don't think I just this version, to be honest with you.
Really?
Like, yeah, I was like, wait a second, Rod Stewart did a version of "Ooh La La." How did I miss that? Like, I'm like, it made sense that he would do it, but like, I just never knew, or even, I guess, maybe I didn't care to listen to it. I don't know. But yeah, so I did enjoy it. I just don't think it's definitely not my favorite version of the song. So I will give it 3 records because it is still at its root a freaking great song, and I love, love, love the lyrics on this. I just think
So
this is such a
good.
well-written song. And I think that's a great line. We all say to each other, right? I wish I knew what I know now when I was younger. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I've said that, like, man, I wish I knew now when I was younger. But
It's so
then
true.
again, would you have known it? And would you have even would it have even made a difference then?
It's so true. It's so true. And I mean, to be fair, now that you know my musical taste so well, given the choice between the 2 versions, there's no doubt I would choose the Rod Stewart version. It's so much more Amanda.
Oh, it's way more Amanda for you. Like, I get it. I absolutely understand why you like that version better than the Faces version.
It's so boppy.
Right. Which I also feel like is a great way to explain our dynamic.
You're stable, you're secure, you're like you know what you get. And I like the bop. In the Irish jig to it, like it's just so fantastic.
The Irish jig to it is actually a fun little flair. I at first I was like, oh, what is this? And then I was like, you know what? I actually like because the song I think lends itself so well to that.
Mhm.
Even the way it's like, it's got that. So I think it really, really works well there. I just, for me, I would just prefer that version. Although, once again, not a horrible version, just
Sure.
not the one I would choose to go to listen to. But still good, So 3 records. I mean, I think
I like it.
I think what we'll have to do though, man, because I would love to hear what our listeners think.
Yes.
So we should definitely do a poll on Instagram, on the IG.
I'm afraid what the IG might say.
Right. Which version of Ooh La La do you prefer? The Faces or Rod Stewart? And for anybody listening live right now, if you want to chime in on that, let us know before we go off the air here in like 20 minutes. So which version do you prefer? Rod Stewart,
this
solo version, or the Faces version? Ooh la
this
la,
might be an
la
all-out
la.
war.
Could be.
Chuck, I knew you were going to come in strong with that.
Here
I
comes Chuck.
absolutely knew.
Because Chuck gets it. Chuck knows. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck Taylor, everybody check it in. Voting 1 vote for the Faces. So actually makes it 2-1 because I vote for the Faces too.
All right. This is the only way we can resolve this. Chris, you do a reel advocating for your version. I'll do a reel advocating for mine. Whoever gets the most likes on their reel
Is
gets the winning,
the winning version of
Thank you.
Ooh La La.
Ooh La La. Which
Okay.
let's just talk for a second. I do think, because I have issues with names. I don't think Ooh La La is the best name for that song.
Yeah, but I think it's fun.
I think it's fun, but I do think
la, 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 la.
it's so secondary to the lyrics that are just so great.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like, but hey, it was great. They don't need Amanda to tell them what it is to be successful, because let's be real, they were all very successful. So with that, I will back down on the Ooh La La title and go to your number 3 pick.
There you go. There we go.
Now,
you got it, Chuck.
This could be game on, friends.
Yeah. So, and Chuck, on your radio show, maybe this is something you could put out to your listeners. I'd like to see what that would come out to be.
Ooh La La is going to be trending in the social media.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, why is Ooh La La trending?
Because of the Chris and Amanda show.
That's right.
We give ourselves way more credit than actually exists. It's so great.
Do we?
Okay, fair. All right. Your number 3 song to me, Chris Baglio, Loser by Beck. So first and foremost, I've got to ask, is this the most popular version of Loser?
I believe I sent you the original version, right?
No, I wasn't expecting that I would know this song.
Let me I am checking right now as you're describing the song. I'm going to check right now just to make sure that I actually gave you the album version.
I diligently have pencil in hand, paper, start listening to the song, and I'm like, ooh, okay, sounds like something Kid Rock would record. Check.
Check.
Check. Note number 1. And then my note number 2 was, all right, I feel like the lyrics are nonsense.
Oh yeah, this is the version of the song. Yeah,
Okay.
this is off of Mellow Gold. Yep.
So I really okay, good to know. Good to know. So my next note before I got into the song for the first time, I feel like the lyrics are nonsense because they're all over the place. They're all over the place.
I'm a
Get crazy
loser,
with
baby.
okay.
So so I
But
mean,
yeah,
it opens the opening of this song is in the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey.
so I'm not being cruel when I'm saying the lyrics are nonsense, but they really are. Like, get crazy with the cheese whiz. I don't
That's right.
disagree, but that's literally in a song. So the lyrics are very nonsensical.
So great.
And I so like a drive-by body pierce, I'm just dying. Like all of these lyrics are just killing me.
Right.
And then I'm like, I hate that this song is so catchy. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I know this song. How did I not know that this was the song?
See, and my wife and I, Rachel and I we were convinced you did not know this song. Really, Amanda's not does not know this song.
And the only part that I know is I'm a loser, baby. Like that's the only part
So
that I
why don't
know.
you kill me?
And so I even didn't even know it until because the first like part of that intro
Right.
is like what is it, Greek words? I don't even know. And it made me go, what did I think that those words were before? And I don't
Right.
think I think I always just hummed it like because I'm a loser, baby. Like I would hum it until that point. So I don't know how I know this song so well, but I know that part so good. So it must be. Is it at like games? I don't know. But
I
I
mean,
sing that
it's
part.
I mean, this is a hit song. I mean, this song, um, if I remember correctly, I mean, its song peaked at number 10 on the US Billboard charts back in
Very
1994.
interesting.
I
Very
mean,
interesting.
this was a huge global song, like all over the world. Charted in Norway, Australia, Canada, Iceland, New Zealand, Sweden, um, UK. Like it is a huge song.
So maybe it was during my flannel grunge stage,
Right, the much talked about forgotten
which
grunge flannel stage.
we never did post that picture I sent you.
Oh no, we didn't. We got to get back on that. The Amanda's lost years.
My Amanda's lost years that she forgot. So I think this lives in those lost years of Amanda's life. So it was very interesting because I thought the song was fun, and then I was more shocked that I knew the song leading up
Mhm.
to that. So I gotta say three records just because it's so nonsensical and it is fun. I think I'll probably rate it a 4. I go 4 and have
The
5
fact that it's
previous
on
love.
this playlist now, and when you're in pressed rows and the playlist is on and this song comes on, you're gonna start to see like everybody's gonna start.
Absolutely.
I'm a loser, baby. Like
And my
it's
mom will
gonna.
be like, "No, you're not, honey. No, you're not."
I'm not saying I am. I'm just singing the
The
song.
lyrics, mom.
It's just the lyrics.
Just feeling them. So 3 records.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I mean, yeah, it's a fun song. I was more or less I wanted to see. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, maybe you saw it on Glee. That's true. They
Oh,
did do the song
that
on
could
Glee.
be. And I've never watched Glee, but I do always watch the clips of Glee when they're singing the song. So Chuck, that is very possible.
Yeah, that's a good call, Chuck. That would be more likely. Although I'm still interested in hearing about Amanda's lost years as a grunge flannel wearing
You know, it all was
teenager.
it was all surrounded around a boy. Isn't all phases around boys when you're a girl?
I guess
I guess. And then you get married and then you're like, ah,
I forgot about it.
who cares? I'm just who I am.
I just am who I am. That's true.
I just wear what's comfortable now, not what's impressive. Why I ever
There
thought grunge flannel was
Yeah.
impressive.
Weird Al does have a version, Chuck, you're correct, or Weird Al's version.
Well, but that's probably it. This is probably the version that I knew.
Right.
Got to
All
pull
right.
out those memories.
Nice. Well, I like it. I mean, listen, I'm glad you at least rated this a 3. I
Yeah,
think it's deserving of a 3, for sure. Probably would have been a 4 on my list. But
sure.
it's just one of those songs you put on and people are like, oh, it's fun. It's a fun song.
Yeah,
And yeah, the lyrics are kind of like goofy, but it's good.
Imagine writing that song with your band buddies,
Yeah. Well, it's something
Um,
he worked on for a long time, but even though it was very spontaneous, like he was a homeless guy in New York for like the 80s and the 90s.
really?
Yeah, and he wrote the song while he was homeless and originally put it out on his own. And then he got signed to Geffen and then they re-released it. It's crazy. Like he's got an amazing story back. Like you should actually go. His story is unreal.
So you know what? That automatically bumps it up to a 4 for me.
There you go.
4 records, not 3.5. This is a 4 record because he wrote this when he was homeless.
He did.
We hear a lot of stories about that, and I think that's why we love music so much, and the stories of how people got to where they are. The road was not easy for them.
Nope, not
Starving
at all.
artist is a phrase for a reason.
That is very true. Very, very true.
Thanks for adding that. I love that little tidbit.
You are welcome, Amanda Sharp. All right, so the final song of the show today that we're talking about is Amanda's the biggest fan that I know of, at least I think in my life, of the king himself, Mr. Elvis Presley. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so this song, did not know this song actually. Well, I think I kind of did, but like I think like you, like, oh, I think I've heard this, but I don't really know it, you know.
Sure.
So I listened to, I'm like, so I think I may know like the beat. And I gotta tell you, so one of the things so by the way, the song's Suspicious Minds. I forgot to say that. So song Elvis Presley's Suspicious Minds. So one of the things that struck me right away about the song, and then I looked at it, and I said, you have to be kidding. I swear this is not a joke, right? So I listened to the song and I'm like, this sounds like another song that I've kind of heard before. And then for some reason I start thinking of Hooked on a Feeling.
Hooked on a Feeling.
Right? So then I look it up. And what do I find? Suspicious Minds was written by a Memphis singer named Mark James, who also wrote the B.J. Thomas hit, Hooked on a Feeling.
Look at you.
James recorded the original version in 1968, but it went nowhere. So I was like, wow. So I was like, I just, there's similarities in the song, so not that it sound, but it just has that. And that was like, oh, okay. And so this was like one of these, I guess, like the later Elvis songs was released in 69. So basically the song is about the trust is gone, replaced with a toxic suspicion that the couple is making that is making the couple miserable. The song is sung from the guy's perspective. Seems he's been accused of cheating and his partner doesn't believe a word he says. He turns the tables, telling her that her suspicions are killing him and asked for a fresh start so they can build their dreams. It's not clear if he's really been unfaithful or if he's just been wrongly accused. So little mystery left at the end of the song. I mean, Suspicious Minds.
Some suspicion going on.
Yeah, some suspicion going on. So the story of this song goes, and this was from songfacts.com. Elvis heard the song at Chip Moman's American Sound Studio in Memphis, where he came to record as a change of pace from Nashville. Okay, it was his first time recording in Memphis since 1955. Donna Jean Godcho, I'm gonna go, who sang backup on James's original and also on Elvis's recording. She told Song Facts Elvis was in the studio at American Sound in Memphis, and our friend Mark James, who wrote Suspicious Minds, had an office there. Elvis walked by Mark's office, and Mark was playing the demo that we had done. When we had done the background vocals on his version of Suspicious Minds, Elvis walked in and said, I want that song and I want those girls. So the other backup singers, just for note here, were Jeannie Green and the sisters Mary and Ginger Holiday, who also sang on In the Ghetto. So for all you Elvis historians out there.
In the Ghetto.
Yeah. So just to understand who's on what song. But I love that. It's like, yeah, I want that song. I want that song. Can you imagine him saying, I'd be like, wait, what
okay, whatever you want, King. Like,
I want that song and I want those girls.
And he got them.
Yeah. So, Mr. Elvis. So this was in this song. I didn't know this stuff. So he has an Elvis. You're an Elvis fan, so I'm sure you probably know a lot of these things. So when I read this, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like I really didn't know this. So this was a big comeback song for him. Did you know that this was a big comeback song for him?
I did, because his 69 special was his comeback.
Right, the comeback show, and that's where he's wearing like the leather jacket, and it's like this whole that's an awesome special. So he hadn't had a number one hit since Good Luck Charm in 1962. So from 62 to 69, he didn't have another number one hit. He had been making a series of unexceptional movies, and his music had lost its luster. Suspicious Minds brought him back to number one in November of 1969, and he was off and running, launching a tour in 1970, his first in 9 years. So he hadn't even toured in 9 years, and becoming a star attraction in Las Vegas. So that's when the Vegas Elvis started taking hold there. It also ended up being his last number one hit in his lifetime, but his releases all started charting a lot higher than his mid-60s output because of that. And here was another fascinating fact, Amanda. This song, here's all the movies this song has been used in. So let's see if
I
you
don't know
this.
if I know all these.
All right. So Blade Runner 2049.
Didn't know that.
Okay. Bad Faith.
Did not know that.
Intolerable Cruelty.
Did not know that.
Lilo and Stitch.
That I knew.
Okay. Black Hawk Down.
I don't know if I knew that, but I think I knew that.
Okay. Honeymoon in Vegas. Someone to Watch Over Me. And the 1983 remake of the French New Wave film Breathless, starring Richard Gere. This song is in that movie.
Did not know that.
For all you film historians out there.
That's a hard song to place in movies too, in my opinion.
You know what? It's an odd, but I would think so. But then when you think like things like Hooked on a Feeling and how that's been placed, and like things like Reservoir Dogs, and even
True.
and also like Guardians of the Galaxy, like
it's so good in there,
right? And so you think like, oh, but then like I think like Suspicious Minds could fit in like a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of like type of film.
It just depends on the because it was like the mixtape right from Guardians of the Galaxy that made it like really working, and they were so smart to do that mixtape because that captivated like my audience, not just the audience it was intended for. I was like, they're genius.
No, it was brilliant marketing on their part. So so Suspicious Minds, my official rating on Suspicious Minds, I would give this. I wrote what I had initially written down was a 3.6. And what that was on my first, but I feel like that I may get closer to a 4 because I've actually been really digging this song the more and more I listen to it. So, while I'm not a giant Elvis, like you're a giant Elvis fan, I absolutely 100% appreciate Elvis. I respect them, and there are many Elvis songs I do enjoy, but I don't go to like actively put Elvis on. You know what I'm saying? But like when Elvis comes on, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a good Elvis. Like, I'm into it. So, but as a non like fan loving Elvis, fanatic, I think this is a cool tune. So right now I would probably, you know what, for the purpose of this show, I'm going to leave it at a 3.8.
Totally fair.
With probably inching up to a 4 in probably about a couple weeks.
I love it. And, Chuck Taylor coming in with Dwight Yoakam has an amazing cover. I love Dwight Yoakam. I love Dwight Yoakam. He will probably be on this list here in the upcoming weeks there, sir.
I don't think I know any Dwight Yoakam songs. Or maybe I do, but I don't know it's Dwight Yoakam because that happens a lot too. Like you've done that where I go, oh, I didn't realize that was this.
That was the singer.
This singer of this song.
I suspect because you did grow up listening to some classic country. So I suspect you would realize that it was Dwight, or the song, just not the artist. And I'll share a quick story about our last trip to Graceland.
Yes.
only trip to Graceland. I had gotten my tonsils out like 2 weeks out. So I was still chugging my like pain medicine because, oh my gosh, getting them out like when you're an adult, no joke. But we went down there. I will say Graceland, I had this vision in my head that it was just this huge mansion and all the things. It's so much smaller in real life. Like it was really cool, but at the same time, I was like, oh, I really built this up in my head to be something magnificent. And on the way home, we were on it looked like a highway, right? So we were doing about 70-ish, maybe 75. And we got pulled over by a cop on a motorcycle. And I do this.
Did you think it was Elvis?
No. And he walks up to the window. Marcus is driving. He's like, "Where y'all going in such rush?" I loved it. We're like, home. He's like, where's home? We're like, Michigan. He's like, well, you make it there in about 2 hours going that speed.
I love it.
And we're like, he's like, what did you think the speed was? We're like 70 or 65. And he's like, it's 45. We're like, we didn't know. We're so sorry. And mind you, this was like 7:30 in the morning. So we
Right.
were up, we were not like, it wasn't like we were doing some sort of shenanigans or something like that. And he was like, slow it down, you be safe, have a good day. And then we went on our way. And we reference that all the time. Where are you going in such a rush?
Were you
So-
cranking some Elvis at the time?
No doubt. And Christy, who was with us, she was like, can we please stop listening? Because we brought every Elvis CD we owned all the way down, all the way back. We just kept replaying all of the CDs. So yeah, we were definitely like,
You know, I gotta tell you, I think this, and now I think about it too, I think this would be a good driving song. I'm gonna have to put the song on while driving. I feel like this could be a good driving like song.
yes,
Suspicious Minds.
I think so. So much of his most popular music, to your point, Chris, was his earlier music, like Hound Dog and stuff like that. But I really enjoy his like 69 and after music. I feel like he found himself a little bit and just loved it. I love it so much.
I love it so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm gonna share.
So I accept that record or rating.
Rating. Okay. No, very good. So yeah, I think the song will grow on me. It's already feels like it's growing on me. And like I said, I still couldn't believe. I was like, wow, this song sounds so familiar. Other than
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, it sounds like something that I was like, sounds like Hooked on a Feeling a little bit. And then
I love how like,
had no idea. Seriously, I'm not making that up, guys.
Your music ears. Your music ears.
Sometimes I'm good at something, which happens to be listening to music.
Hence why we do this show.
Yeah. Well, Amanda Sharp, that just about wraps it up for us. But we did want to quickly mention, because I do think it's important, because we do oftentimes we do show our respects for amazing, legendary artists. And so it's unfortunate that when we're doing this show now, it's like the weekend or the day after or weekend after, like it's actually the Monday after the weekend that we lost the matriarch of the Judds,
Miss Naomi Judd herself.
Yeah.
76 years old and looking like she was what, 40?
Yeah. I mean, I was like unbelievable. Like, man, just seemed like time was not even affecting her at all. It's unbelievable. And you think about like what, and I've seen some documentaries and interviews with them, and it's like the amazing things that they really put up with in the music industry, being women, country artists, just unbelievable, their story and the amount of success and what their contributions to just music overall, the music business, and music itself, unbelievable. So I mean, even if you're not into like a ton of country or anything like that, like you absolutely have to show respect to that the Judds. I mean, what they did, what they brought, and especially her. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The what the two of them have been through, and it's unfortunate. It sucks. It's life, but it does stink. You feel like we're losing all the legends.
And it is sad. And when Betty White passed away, there was and I don't know who said it. Somebody said it first, but it was, live a life that even if you live to be 99, it wasn't long enough for the people who adored you.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a strong statement. So if you're listening out there, which hopefully you're still listening, live your life that no matter what age you are, people say they didn't get enough time with you because it was such a good life lived.
Yep, absolutely. Well said. So, make sure if you've never listened to the Judds, I highly recommend just go out and listen to it. I mean, you have tons of great songs, and just learn a little bit more about some of the people that make this music and the contributions they've made, or watch a documentary on YouTube. Or all this stuff is accessible. It is. You never know what you'll learn and how powerful these stories are, and then what you can take from them for yourself. Because we're at that time, right? We're losing some of our legends, and it's been a rough few years, with artists and the people that we love and adore and follow and influence us. So, don't take it for granted, everybody. Do not take it for granted. So,
And
But
we're just
fortunately,
lucky enough that that music will be part of her forever
I was
legacy.
just
So
gonna
we'll
say,
have a
yeah,
little bit of the wonderful Naomi Judd for many years to come, just because they had such a beautiful legacy of music to leave behind.
absolutely, 100%. Very well said. So with that, we're gonna wrap up this week's show. We appreciate each and every one of you for listening and hanging out with us today. Thank you so much, Mr. Billy Thorpe and Mr. Chuck Taylor, for hanging out and commenting with us. And thanks for everybody else who was watching with us live today. And thank you all who are watching the replay of this or listening to the audio version. Please make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening to this show, because it not only helps the show grow, but it also keeps you notified every single time we drop a new episode. Also, if you like what you heard here today and you want to support support the show and show your support, head over to our Buy Me a Coffee link, which you can get in the show notes or the video description, wherever. It's all there. Feel free to make a small donation of your choosing. And we also have some perks and great things set up. And if you want to commission your own version of the Chris and Amanda show, you can do that. You get to pick the 6 songs that we will react and review right here on this live show. And that'll be your show forever and ever and ever to commission. And if you want to leave us a voicemail and get on the show, you can do that. Let us know. +1 973 506 8009, +1 973 506 8009. Just give us a call. Give us a call.
Absolutely.
Ring us up.
It's like we just did a telethon at the end of every show. You do it so well, Chris. And be on the lookout for that very controversial reel pair that's coming out, because my ooh la la's got to win.
That's right. Make sure you follow us on Instagram for those ooh la la reels. Maybe TikTok. I guess we may put it on TikTok too, but follow us anyway at Instagram and TikTok, because we've been releasing a lot of content.
Yeah, we'll judge the likes off of IG though.
Yes, we will. We'll do the judging off of IG. So go to our Instagram account, follow us, so that way you guys can get access to that voting.
We'll have them up by the end of the day.
Yes, they are coming. They are coming. Absolutely.
Good show, Chris. Good show.
Great show, Amanda Sharp. And thank you all once again. We look forward to seeing you all very, very soon on the next episode of the Chris and Amanda Show. Everybody have an amazing week.
Bye, everyone.